I've been shooting with a 100% JPEG workflow for the past few years now, and there is one critical step that is required when setting up your camera to be successful with this, and it's calibrating the EVF and the LCD of your camera. In today's video, I'm going to share my process for that. But before we get into it, I wanted to thank today's video sponsor, Squarespace. I've actually been using Squarespace for over 10 years. Their templates and easy to use interface make it incredibly simple to create a website and maintain it to look professional without any coding experience necessary. My Squarespace website was an essential part of how I built my photography business. It allowed me to showcase my portfolio, share recent work on my blog, and also receive inquiries from potential clients through my contact form. If you're one of those photographers relying on your Instagram profile as the sole place to share your work and build your photography business, I would really consider making a website on Squarespace. You can visit squarespace.com/Ballesteros to start a free trial and get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. So what is calibrating your LCD and your EVF, and why would you want to do this? This isn't an exact process. It's more of an estimation. And the reason why you would do this is because you want to make sure that what you see on your camera is what you're going to get. Because when you shoot in this JPEG workflow, you're bypassing the whole editing step. So you're not going to correct the brightness and the colors on your computer. At least it's not a necessary step. In order to get it close in camera, you have to make sure that what you see on the camera with your eyeballs is actually within the right range. Because the biggest issue is a lot of people use their cameras with a really bright LCD or bright EVF. And when you do that and take photos, you'll actually result in having a poor estimation of how bright the photo is. You're going to think it's really bright when in actuality, the photo is actually very dark. So that when you transfer it to your phone, you transfer it to your computer, like, why does it look so dark? That's because the brightness on your camera is not calibrated correctly. The way to do this is pretty simple, actually. You have to pick a monitor that you trust, or a display that you trust. It could be your phone, it could be your laptop display, or it could be an actual computer monitor. When you're using computer monitor, you want to make sure that this is calibrated so it has the proper brightness level and colors, but most importantly, the brightness level. Or with your laptop, you want to make sure you set it to the correct brightness level. On a MacBook, I found this to be at 50%, and on an iPhone, this is usually around like 60 to 75% brightness. And you want to make sure that you turn off True Tone or any of those like auto adjustment things. You want it to just be straight brightness that doesn't adjust to anything. So once you pick the monitor that you like, now what you have to do is take some photos. You're going to take some photos and make sure that you kind of like how they look like. You're going to take the SD card outside your camera. You're going to put it into that computer and transfer the photos, or you're going to transfer the photos to your phone. And basically what you're going to do is import those photos over and then take the SD card and put it back into your camera. You're like, Reggie, where are you going with this? And then this is the most important part. So the next part is you're going to play back the photo on your computer or on your phone. And then you're going to take your camera and you're going to hold it up to it and play back the same exact photo. And you'll see that there's a difference. The photo probably is going to look a lot brighter on your camera. So that's where you want to go into your settings, and then you're going to want to change your LCD brightness. And you see I have it at 0 right now, and it's too bright. So now we're going to notch it down and we're going to iterate. So here I'm going to try all the way to the bottom, and looking at it, it's too dark, right? The photo on the computer and the photo on the camera are not matching. So we're going to go in here and just iterate it. And I found that 1, 2, 3, 4, -4 on my Ricoh matches my calibrated computer monitor. This is the one that I edit on. Basically, once you do that, then you'll notice that it's pretty much spot on. And the way to kind of see if the light levels are right is you want to look in the shadow ranges, also the highlights, and make sure everything looks fine, and then go out and take more photos. And you'll notice that when you actually transfer it to your phone or to your computer, they actually come out pretty close to what you wanted it. And another important thing is you want to make sure that your camera is not on any type of auto brightness. You want to set it at that level. Obviously, when you're shooting out in the sun, you can bump it up a little bit, but then you just have to realize that at that point, you're compromising the accuracy of your LCD or EVF at that point. This is the inexact science on how to calibrate your camera's monitor for, accurate JPEGs. I don't really mess around with the color toning or anything like that. There's the ability to do that within these cameras, but for me, I set that with just the recipe itself, and I just trust that the exposure levels I'm seeing correctly.